Why does she have to have the same haircut?
Same hairpin, same side.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what else would have given away it was the same character? The fact that everyone's calling her Briony Tallis. Hello and welcome to Cruise Next. I'm James Albarn.
James Albarn?
Okay, well clearly I've never done the intro. Shoot me. I'm James
Did you do one of the Christmas ones?
Do you say Albarn or Albarn?
Albarn. Did you do one of the Christmas
You're a
intros?
bit West Country. Maybe. I think I got tired of waiting for you.
No.
That irony.
Because then I did the description of the film.
Oh, we decided you weren't very good at it.
I don't know. So.
What was that? Hot Frosty?
Hot Frosty.
Hot
It took me way
Frosty.
too long.
Yeah.
To...
I think it's because you weren't expecting it. I think if you had time to prepare.
Yeah. That's true. What?
I'm gonna look up something while you do the intro.
Okay, well, I mean, we've kind of started already. So this is Cruise Next, podcast in which we watch a film, we discuss that film, then we jump into the credits, pick out a crew member, and pick a film from their filmography, which leads us to our next film. Last time on the podcast, we talked about Emerald Fennell's Saltburn. We liked that one, didn't we? Go watch that if you haven't. From that film, we arrived at Colin Jackman, the film's Sculptor, which has led us to our film today, which is Atonement.
Dear Cecilia, you'd be forgiven for thinking me mad. The truth is, I feel rather lightheaded and foolish in your presence, and I don't think I can blame the heat.
Ronnie?
Do you think you could do me a favour? Run ahead and give this to C.
Good heavens, you're blushing.
Cecilia.
Elsa. Tell us all about Atonement.
It's a really sad film and it made me really sad.
The end.
So Atonement is a 2007 movie by Joe Wright, who directed Pride and Prejudice, Darkest Hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you like that one.
It was all right.
I thought it was good. It is based on the book Atonement by Ian McEwan, and it essentially follows a narrative of misunderstandings, betrayal, lots of heaviness. It's set in the late 1930s to early 1940s, and essentially our young character, Briony Tallis, oversees some things that she doesn't fully understand, and off the back of that falsely accuses a good man of a horrific crime. He is then sent to prison. Cue the Second World War. He's in the army. His lover, who he never got to see again, played by Keira Knightley, is a nurse. And essentially I want to say it's a love story, but they're really only together for the kind of first part of the film. Most of the film is about how they're torn apart and how they don't come back together. It's a sort of retrospective narrative written from the perspective of older Briony, who has carried around so much grief and shame of this crime that she falsely accused this man of and ruined his life and ruined her sister's life, Keira Knightley, that she writes a book, she writes a memoir, she keeps everything in it truthful, their names, her name, And the film finishes with her being interviewed, sort of, breaks the fourth wall about the book and why she's written it now. And that's Atonement. Her book is her atoning for her sin of ruining this man's life and breaking up these two young lovers. Let's get into it. I love this film.
Do you?
Do you know what? I think I do. Bit of home for you.
Yeah.
Should we wait for the plane?
Just carry on.
It's too often.
Yeah.
On the note of planes, okay, so apparently, before we started this recording today, James, what did you say about me?
Oh, just now?
Just now.
That you love things about Second World War?
Okay, you said I love war, but I'll take that specification. I argued that I did not. I think it's a normal amount. But there's a scene where James McAvoy is lying in the bath.
Yeah.
He's looking up through the skylight, which is quite unusual for
and then the plane is...
What was the plane?
I can't remember what the plane was, but it's not appropriate for the era of the...
No, it was. No, it was.
Oh, I read something
bomber.
where people said it wasn't.
No, it was.
Wow.
Well,
Interesting.
Well.
It's a debate for the comments.
So James McAvoy plays Robbie, who is Keira Knightley's lover in it, and he is this sort of poor son.
Do you know
of
what?
the
Actually,
servants.
I think you are right.
James
I think the person that has said that the plane is an anachronism because it's misinterpreting the scene and not realising that McAvoy in that moment is supposed to be sort of like hallucinating the plane or like dreaming of the plane. Like the plane's not actually there.
I don't know, it might be. But why do you say that? As in it's like flying the wrong way?
No, as in the plane, their argument was that the plane hadn't been made at the point that he is like seeing the plane.
How do they know when he's seeing the plane? There was never a date at the start of the film.
Yes, there was.
Was there?
Yeah,
What was it?
1935.
Oh. It was made, it wasn't in use. The war hadn't started.
Apparently it wasn't made until 1937.
I don't think...
We're getting
he
bogged
was
down in...
hallucinating, though.
Oh, well then the plane is wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the plane shouldn't have been flying overhead
Yeah,
for that time period.
yeah.
Interesting. Well, why would he be hallucinating?
I don't know.
But I mean, like, as in, it's not like he's there dreaming of serving king and country because it hasn't started yet. So why would it?
I don't know if it was a bit of weird foreshadowing.
He wasn't a pilot.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
None of that makes sense, really, if you
No.
think about it. Anyway, it
That
doesn't really
seems
matter.
like an unnecessary detail you put in that film there, Joe Wright.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is the kind of son of the servants of the house where Keira Knightley lives, and they're very close friends of the family, and Keira Knightley's father has paid to put him through Cambridge. And they're very much in love. And unfortunately, just as she sort of gets over her ego and she's like, I love you, and I want to be with you. It all comes crashing down. Young Saoirse Ronan happens upon the library, sees them starfishing on the bookcase, is understandably horrified by this. She's 12 years old.
She's also read a particularly saucy letter before this that James McAvoy had written and is convinced by Juno Temple's character that means he's like a sex
addict.
maniac.
He's a sex maniac.
Yeah.
So naturally she thinks her sister's probably being attacked. Her sister, Keira Knightley, what's the character's name? Cecilia. The RP in this film got me. Cecilia handles it horribly and just walks out the library and just leaves her sister there. He walks out, leaves her there. that would have, this is why we need sex education in schools, guys. That would have been a perfect opportunity to sit down and be like, babe,
We're actually
this
in
is
love.
actually a very natural thing and we love each other and this is consensual. I'm really sorry you had to see that. She didn't really see any nudity. She just sort of, they were like,
Yeah.
displayed.
Didn't actually see anything.
Didn't actually see, there was no like, they weren't even moving
No.
at that point. So, yeah, how that film could have gone differently. If that had happened.
I do think part of my issue with the film is the premise, is like the setup.
That it's all based on a misunderstanding.
And it's all a bit convoluted. And I think like, and I'm a bit like, and I get it. I get that the film is not really about that. It's about everything that happens afterwards and all. But like, the thing with the letter did bug me.
That he gave the wrong letter?
Yeah, because you just wouldn't. Like, he just wouldn't have done that.
Do you know what? I thought it was great. I mean, whatever, it's a book. But I did like it that... so basically, him and Keira Knightley have a bit of a disagreement or whatever. Scrapple? Scrapple? Scrap?
A scrapple.
They have a scrapple at the fountain. And she's wearing this, very sheer, lacy, whatever it is, teddy, and comes out the pond soaking wet, and it's all a bit like...
Tension.
Yeah. And first her sister oversees that, and she's like, nudity, my sister's in her skivvies with the gardener. And then he writes a letter to apologise to her for this misunderstanding. And the letter, he writes so many different versions, he can't seem to get the phrasing right. And then he writes one, which is obviously a bit of a joke, which is, in my dreams, what is it? In my dreams, I kiss your cunt.
Yeah.
And then writes the better letter, which was like, please forgive me for this afternoon, whatever. And gives the wrong letter to the little girl to give to her sister. And the little girl reads it. And there's a moment
Because she's
where
nosy.
she's such a twat. She's such a little
so annoying, yeah.
Little brat. But I liked it because it's all kind of shot behind him and you're watching her run away and it's just the back of his head and he goes, Briony. And you can't see his face, but you can almost see him going, oh, hold on. And he's like retracing his steps. And then it like cuts to a profile shot of him just going, Briony! And like screaming like, oh my God, please come back.
Yeah.
He's too late. I thought that was great. And it makes me laugh. I've seen this film a few times and every time he writes that out on the typewriter, in my dreams I kiss your girl, and he kind of starts laughing.
Yeah.
I start laughing. I think it's
well done within the film. Like, I don't have a problem with
don't like the misunderstanding.
with the way it's like done. I think, and
yeah,
James McAvoy's great. So I've got no problem with that. I just think like it just, and I know it's a silly thing it's a film. Like, it's a silly thing to be annoyed about. But like, I was just like, you just wouldn't mix the letter. You would check. You would check before you gave it to the girl because you'd know if you've written the dirty letter.
I think the dirty letter.
The dirty letter.
The dirty letter. I think any film or series where the foundation is misunderstanding, I find deeply frustrating. So I do know, like bodies.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That fucking drove me crazy. Normal people, that whole series was just them not communicating.
Yeah.
Like, just stuff like that, it drives me up the wall and I struggle to watch it. But this film I felt is more, the letter was a cock-up, but I felt it was painful to watch. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was painful to watch because I felt like it was more, you completely get it. You understand that this child who has witnessed maybe 3 or 4 sexual acts in a day, no one is explaining to her what these mean, which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones are consensual.
I get that.
And so you watch her terrified do what she thinks is the right thing.
Yeah.
She's also
been told he's a sex maniac as well.
Well, yeah, but the character is also set up as being this really like fanciful, away with the fairies, dramatic child that has all of these sort of fantasy scenarios. She, when she's about 10 or 11, she has a crush on James McAvoy's character. And she says, if I jump into the river, would you catch me? Or would you come and find me? And he's like, yeah, of course, I'd rescue you.
So she does
So
it.
she throws herself in. And he's like, what the fuck? And goes to rescue her. And she comes up and she's laughing and, you know, kissing him. And she's like, oh, thank you. I thank you sincerely for saving my life.
And he loses his
like,
shit at her.
yeah, because he's like, what, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, we already know, and she spends all her time writing plays and books, and she's very dramatic. So we know already that she's prone to these, you know, fanciful, imaginative scenarios.
I also think the fact that she has a crush on McAvoy as well adds to it as well, because
it's jealousy, right?
Yeah, and it's like, and it's also like, I think it's jealousy, and it's also like, maybe there's a sense of like betrayal as well. I guess that is the same thing, but like a betrayal as well of like, when she thinks he's like this sex maniac, was told he's a sex maniac, it's like, he's not the man that sort of I always thought him to be, and suddenly now he's this, and I, as a kid, it's easy to get into that sort of like state of like, well, he's the bad guy now, and clearly like, if something bad has happened, it would be him, because, you know.
I remember when this feels like an overshare. I've started, so I'll finish. I remember when I was a kid, I was probably about her age, I was probably about 10. This must have been in the space like a day, but I was with some of my older cousins' friends who, again, were much older than me. They were probably like 18. I don't even think they really spoke English. I think they were Italian, but I like thought they were the most beautiful men I'd ever seen, and you know, I was so like in awe of them. And then they went out or whatever with their girlfriends, or they met some girls or whatever, and I was like, okay, I can see how it is. Alright, fine. I was 10 years old. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they were like, I was their friend's kid cousin. Like, but I know the feeling of being like, oh, I am an irrelevant child. Okay, I understood.
Yeah.
Like, so I do think that was like really kind of subtly portrayed.
Yeah.
Young Saoirse Ronan, like her face is like just a canvas.
Yeah.
She does everything across. And how old was she? And
I don't know. That would be interesting.
13,
actually,
14, I think. But like you can just see the emotions go across her face in any given scene. She's always been very talented, apparently.
Yeah, very good.
Good for you, Saoirse.
I thought if he went away to medical school, then I'd be happy, but I don't know how I could have been so ignorant about myself. So stupid. You do know what I'm talking about, don't you? You knew before I did.
There was also a young Benedict Cumberbatch in this film.
There was.
What did we think of Cucumber Patch?
Yeah.
Horrible. Really well.
He's quite good though. I think he's
God,
good
he's
at.
so good.
And I do kind of
Creepy.
I wish he would play more villains generally. I think he probably has done it. He's done a fair share of it, but like.
I can't really.
Actually, maybe actually come to think of it, maybe he hasn't really.
Do you know what
But I think he does it very well.
You know, like Stanley Tucci and The Lovely Bones, and how like horrific that was.
Yeah.
I think he'd do that kind of thing really
Yeah.
well. I don't know if that's like an insult, but he has this really disgusting, thin, wiry mustache in this film, and I mean it's like period appropriate. No, actually, that was more 20s. It probably maybe he just couldn't grow it, but either way, he looked like a proper paedophile. Like
and he like just when he arrives, he just completely smells of wrong, and do you know what I mean? He's just like, there's something about this man that I do not like.
The way he
talks to people.
You know exactly what that character's motivations are. You can read his disgusting mind from the second he looks at Juno Temple.
Yes.
And he kind of touches his mouth. Or he has all these little gestures. And like with the chocolate bar, he's like, you have to bite it. Like
Yeah.
it's so small, but it's.
There's
really
also
horrible.
an interesting thing that I noticed where they're outside just like drinking by the lake bit, and Keira Knightley is in like a swimming costume sunbathing, and you note he's chatting to his friend, and his friend,
And Keira.
he's like his friend is like looking at Keira like kind of like, you know, he's checking her out. No?
What are you talking about? Benedict Cumberbatch's friend is.
Yeah.
No, that's her brother.
Is it? I missed that. Okay, got that.
Like, the whole. The whole reason why they're so excited and they're having this dinner and James McAvoy gets dressed up is because Leon's come home.
I
brother.
fucking missed that.
Yeah,
That he
it's
was the brother.
And
He's
like,
not checking her out then.
no, but the thing is, you're right. There is a moment there of Leon and Cecilia sharing a look and sharing a joke that's clearly like, it's an inside thing, their brother and
Yeah.
sister. And he is cut out. He's sat in the middle, but he's cut out and he has a moment of like, you can see the rage flash across his face.
Yeah. That's what I was referring to,
Yeah.
but I
You just got the
I
dynamic
completely
wrong.
missed that he was the brother. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah. Thank God you're home. I've been bored stiff all summer. It was the brother.
Yeah, I know. Now you're saying it makes sense. But yeah, I think he's. That's completely thrown me now. Yeah, I think.
Watch the film.
Yes, I did. I watched it yesterday. I think Cumberbatch is really good in it actually, and I think he.
So good.
Yeah, he does. I think. This must be pre Sherlock and all that kind of success that he had.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. This was 2007. When was Sherlock? 2012 maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's certainly around then.
He was super young.
Yeah, and I think.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Well, no, I was just saying. Just going back to that thing of like, it would be really interesting to see him play more villainous characters. Maybe it's the Sherlock effect is that he's then sort of because he was the lead hero of that show. Then you kind of get pigeonholed into a thing, but
into being, what's his name?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
But he kind of plays a lot of like intelligent, like heroes. Do you know what I mean? Like even
They're all very cerebral. They're like
even like Alan Turing in The Imitation Game. It's like he's playing this.
Yeah.
That
was sad.
What's
it with all these sad films?
And I would like to see him. Yeah, he could do a good baddie.
He does a very good baddie. I don't know how old Juno Temple was in this film. I really hope that she was old or older, because I think and I have a lot of friends who have worked very closely with Benedict Cumberbatch for years. And so I have on very good authority that he is a very lovely, sweet, gentle, kind man.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so sure that this set was a very supportive environment. But regardless, when you are filming traumatic scenes,
yeah,
as an actor, and there have been studies done into this in how acting certain things alters your brain chemistry, because your mind knows, I'm not being attacked, I'm not being assaulted, this is pretend, this is play, but your body doesn't know that.
That's
and
interesting.
So you're really going through the motions of whatever trauma is being inflicted upon you. And it's hard for a lot of adults. That's why, people talk about like how you come out of a character. What's your process? How do you tell yourself that you're safe? And a lot of them do, the tapping to ground themselves. And I think especially for a child, that is a horrible fucking thing to have to act.
Yeah.
terrifying. And so I really, really hope that she was of an age where she could kind of manage the grounding afterwards and the coming out of the character and have the wherewithal to protect herself beforehand and be like, this is not real, because that was a horrific little bit of a scene, wasn't it? It was so... And her weeping afterwards to Saoirse, and she's just going, I'm sorry. I thought it was so incredibly moving. It was really upsetting. But I don't know how... I think Juno Temple's a great actor.
It's also the way it's shot as well, like that you only see it
searchlight
through the torch, and it's like...
Yeah.
It makes it that sort of harsh light of like a torch in the night just picking up something, and there's really like there's nothing what's the word, it feels quite real and like unfiltered, like not like you're watching like a really beautifully lit like film scene. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I guess the point is they want you to see it from young Briony's perspective, where she knows it's not Robbie, let's be honest, but she's confused by what she's seen of him, and you know, I think she's probably like a bit mad at him, and but I think it needed to be enough that it was borderline for her, and it could have been Robbie.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be? She didn't say it wasn't Robbie, you know? But yeah, this film is just... I haven't watched this film in years, and I never want to again. I wept. I wept in this film. I just think it's a combination of things that is the perfect reaction for just heartbreak. It's like the love lost, the fact that you never received the forgiveness. Her sister never saw her, never spoke to her again. She was a child. She was traumatized. It was, you know, what she saw was really heavy. Juno Temple's character, her cousin, never got justice because he married her so she couldn't testify against him. A combination of sort of snippets from the war, which, as we know, apparently I find that very upsetting. There was so much about it that I just felt it weighed so heavily on my heart, and I thought it was so beautifully shot. I think that Joe Wright is a really beautiful filmmaker, and I think he oftentimes I feel like in Joe Wright's films he does a lot of very slow reveal, where he often starts on the character and where we're seeing that they're seeing something but we don't know what it is, and then it slowly comes into focus, and then you're like, oh, and it's, you know. And he does that a lot in a lot of his films. He did it quite a few times in this one, like, obviously Saoirse seeing them having sex in the library, Saoirse seeing her cousin being raped in the grounds, James McAvoy looking at the school children that had been shot in France. Like, it's a lot of that kind of really slow reveals. I just think his films with, like, the pacing is just beautiful.
It was a mistake.
Briony read it.
But I'm so sorry, it was the wrong version.
Yes.
I thought one of the things that was really impressive about it was that how quickly the writing, the direction, the performances made you invest in a character with like barely anything to go off. I'm thinking of like Daniel Mays' character in the sort of the war section. you kind of go on, like he has a little bit of an arc, which is quite
He's very good,
nice.
Daniel Mays,
Like
isn't he?
he's very good. He's like consistently very good.
He's underrated, I think. He's underrated.
Yeah. But like, you know, his character kind of evolves from being, he's a bit brash. He's complaining a lot. Do you know what I mean? And then, he has some beautiful moments with McAvoy as he just kind of realizes that like he's not well.
He's not going to make it.
He's not going to make it, and I found that quite touching. I'm also thinking of like the nurse who is friends with Briony at the nursing at St Thomas's. And they become friends at their like nursing colleges.
I could only marry a
yeah,
officer.
But like immediately, like she's not in it that much, but like
it's like 2 scenes. Yeah.
Very quickly, I'm like, oh, I like her, and like you know, and
she's sweet.
You feel invested in her. And there's the scene with the French soldier in the hospital bed, where Briony has to talk to him, and there's the whole revealing of the bandages and seeing
the brain.
That's another one of those moments actually of the
slow, yeah.
Like, oh,
you see her face first, and then
yeah. And it's just very well done in that regard of like, you know, it's one of those films where every character feels like they really bring something to the film and they matter in some way. It's a bit like when we were talking about Emma, Autumn de Wilde's version of Emma, of how every character feels like they get their little moment to just add something to the film, and I think that's a real skill both in the writing of the film, the performances by those individual actors, but also like the direction that, you know, just allow them to have that moment. I think is very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a very generous filmmaker.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Dunkirk scene?
So this is the thing earlier. I said to you, I've got a question about Atonement, but I'll save it for the podcast.
Okay. Well done. You did.
I did. I saved it, and here it is. I was going to ask, but you've kind of asked me what I think about it, but I'm not going to answer now because I'm going to ask you the question of who do you, because I remember seeing that. I've never seen Atonement before, but I've seen that Dunkirk sequence so many times.
Have you?
Yeah, because like
it's the one shot.
It's the one shot 5 minute, and it always comes up on YouTube as like people going, "What an amazing sequence!"
Yeah.
And naturally, my brain goes to, when I was watching that this time around, goes to comparisons with Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk and the sort of the differences therein. And obviously, you can't compare the two in terms of like, I was going to say, who do you think did it better? But it's a very difficult question to ask because Dunkirk is exclusively about Dunkirk, and this film is not about Dunkirk, really. Yeah. It's about something completely different. But, like, they are quite different in their approaches to, like, the way it looks, the way the beach is set up. Yeah. The one in Atonement, there's a lot going on that beach, and there's a lot. There's, you know, trucks, there's a Ferris wheel, there's like all sorts of stuff going on. It's busy. There's horses being shot.
There's men having brawls. There's men in the bars.
There's people singing.
There's a bandstand with men are singing.
Whereas Dunkirk feels much more sort of like bleak in the sense of like it's almost like an empty beach with some trucks and like, do you know what I mean?
I agree. Let's not compare them, but I'm about to compare them.
Yeah.
This 5 minute one shot, which I have some things to say about, but it's messier.
Yeah.
It's more chaotic. And Dunkirk was busy. It was messy. There was like 338,000 men on the beach
Yeah.
waiting to be collected. Like, yeah, it was fucking chaos. And like, I thought it was great.
And I think that's a thing you don't necessarily, as much as I love Dunkirk as a film, I don't know if you necessarily get that impression as much watching.
Because it's so cinematic.
Yeah.
It's so
And
stage.
It kind of feels a bit more like, you know, they constantly refer to how many men they've got to get off the beach, but you don't really see that many of them because you're focusing on a couple of people, and you get moments where they're like all crowded on the sort of the dock bit, and then they start getting bombed and stuff like that. But like, this felt much more like lived in, and in a way of like, if I could go back in time with a film camera, and well, people did shoot footage at Dunkirk, I'm sure, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I could go back and see it, I feel like I'd be more dropped into the Atonement version than the Dunkirk version.
Yeah, because I think it's a more accurate representation of just like the chaos of war. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was super upsetting. I mean, apparently they didn't want to do that as a one shot, but for budget reasons, they didn't have time to like stay on the beach and shoot as much as they wanted to for as long, so they had to turn it into a one-er.
But it's become so iconic as a result.
Oh my god, it's one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah.
They spent about 2 or 3 weeks setting up the beach, and then they were rehearsing for a week, and then they shot it for 5 minutes of but like, and then I think it took 2 weeks to set the beach back to what it was. It was great. I thought it was really, really great. And I'm wondering if, because as the one shot is kind of showing Robbie and his platoon mates, 3 of them, walking through the chaos, but every now and again it breaks away and it picks up some, detail elsewhere, and then it carries on, and then they come back into frame, and they, it's that kind of thing. And you see Robbie, James McAvoy's character, getting more and more ashen every time you see him, don't you? And I don't know if that's like something that they did in post, or if there was a makeup artist floating behind the camera that every time he was out of shot, and a little bit more like. But I thought it was really, really good, and really devastating, because obviously they then go down into their sort of bunker for the evening, and I, having seen it before, I was like, he's never walking out of it. And when he's, Danny Mays is like, boss, you're sort of talking in your sleep, you got a sharp, and he's like, that you won't hear another word from me. I was like, I know, because you're gonna die. I thought it was so sad. But I don't understand how you can't find this movie just devastating. Like, the whole idea of the end where she says that, the only part that's not true is that they found each other again, and I gave them in the book what they didn't have in life. I gave them time and each other. And
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be like a reveal and a sort of twist? Or...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So do you...
I mean, what do you mean? Of course it is.
Well, yeah, it is, but I felt it was interesting because I didn't guess it necessarily, but when it came to her saying, oh, and actually I never saw them, it made that scene where she goes there and she sees McAvoy and she sees Keira Knightley, and they have that discussion, and he says, you need to go to the solicitor and do this and do that. Yeah. It made it make sense, because I was watching it going, there's something that feels really weird and off about this scene.
Yeah.
And it means that actually it was doing the job it was supposed to do. I think it was supposed to kind of feel a little bit like weird and unsettling, and it has a sort of weird...
It's a bit dreamlike.
Dreamlike quality to it. And so...
Because it doesn't, you're not watching it like the mise en place is off, right? Like you're not watching it like you would watch a scene play out. It is like kind of how you dream it, of like lots of little moments, and then when she like runs into the kitchen because she hears him come out, and then she sees them showing a bit of intimacy, and she's kind of the observer, and then she like snaps away and she's like, oh, I can't be here, it's really clever. It's interesting that you picked up that without knowing that was
because then when it came to the reveal, I was like, oh yes, that makes sense now, but I could feel like there was something off. And I think and I was trying to work out then afterwards where it's like, okay, am I supposed to know something's off, or is that just me reading too much into it? But I think it must be right, because it is, like we say, it's filmed in that kind of weird dreamlike way, and like even some of the dialogue in that scene, when James McAvoy starts explaining to everything she has to do to like fix the thing, I was like, how do you, like, what, like, do you know what I mean? There was something, it was almost like too perfect in a way of like, there's something that feels, I don't know what it was, there's something felt off, and I think clearly intentional when you get to the reveal, which I thought was very clever.
Yeah, I think as well, in that scene, he starts to lose his temper. Yeah. And Keira Knightley has to calm him down. And it's almost like he's having some sort of shell shock moment where he loses himself. And she recalls him by her kind of refrain of, come back to me. Yeah. Which I think was the tagline for this film. Oh. Come back to me. But in the moment, I was like, it's a bit Natasha Romanoff and the Hulk going, sun's getting real low, buddy. Like, I was like, this seems like a bit lame, bit cheesy. But I think now what that was what Briony heard her say as he was carried off by the police, was come back to me. Yeah. I think. And so she was then putting that in the story of like... Yeah. And obviously that is one of the reasons, I guess, why it felt so like fake. But
it's, because it's kind of weird, and on a first view, it makes a lot more sense now I know the ending, but on the first viewing, it kind of jars you out a little bit, that scene. You're like, this feels... So it's almost slightly weirdly soap opera-y in a way. Do you know what I mean? It does feel quite different to some of the other stuff we've been watching. Yeah. And the way that... What?
No, I like agree with you. I'm in my head, I'm like seeing the scene and I'm hearing like da 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 da. Yeah. Like it kind of fits.
And I think it's because some of the other emotional scenes in the film are handled so deftly that you're just like, when it gets to that scene, it's just quite jarring, which again makes sense. Why, yeah. But in the moment, on a first viewing, it's a bit like, oh, like what are we doing now? Like I don't get this.
I'll be quite honest with you. I'm torn between breaking your neck here and taking you and throwing you down the stairs. Do you have any idea what it's like in jail? Of course you don't. Tell me, did it give you pleasure to think of me inside?
No.
But you did nothing about it?
No.
Do you think I assaulted your cousin?
No.
Did you think it then?
Yes. Yes and no.
And what's made you so certain now?
Growing up.
Growing up?
I was 13.
How old do you have to be to know the difference between right and wrong?
So fucking sad. This film was so fucking sad. And like the Balham floodings. Yeah. Which do you know what? I think about that almost every time I'm in the tube. In the underground, I think about the gas and the water mains being hit by bombs in Balham and the station flooding, because there were thousands of Londoners using the underground as their bomb shelters. Yeah. And that is terrifying. Yeah. What's wrong with me though? When I'm down there, I'm like, pocket of air. Pocket of air. Crazy. And what they used to do too was they would shut and lock the shutters for overcrowding.
Yeah.
And you had to show that you were a resident of that tube stop
Right.
bomb shelter to be let in.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times people were at the, they were at the point where they could have gotten out, but they were locked in.
Yeah.
Terrible.
You really do think about this stuff a lot, don't you?
It's my Roman Empire, yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It really is.
I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But yeah, for some reason, I just think it's such an interesting area of history.
I mean,
think
it
it's
is.
because it's so recent.
I mean, I did see
less than 100 years.
I think I saw it. I can't remember who it was, but I saw a historian say, like, if you're a historian and you say you're not interested in the Second and First World Wars, like, you're not a historian, because like it's one of the most important things that's happened in the world, and it's within our,
It's a pretty intense stance to take, though.
Yeah.
Not a historian, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was quite the quote, but it was basically along the lines, like, of course, historians are going to be obsessed with the World War because it's like one of the most important things that's.
But like when filmmakers say that they don't like The Godfather, it's like, not a fucking filmmaker, then.
Yeah.
So that kind of vibe.
Tell you who I think it has a standout performance, and is not in it for very long at all, is Vanessa Redgrave as the old. Do you not agree? I thought she was great. Mm-hmm. Why do you not?
No, okay, yeah. I thought she was great. I think she's a very talented actor. She was very good in it. It was very moving. I think that the physicality between all of the Brionies was very good. I think they must have clearly worked together to like develop their little similarities. That was very nice. I don't really like in films when it's the hand holding that we were talking about last week, where you really like spoon feed audiences to go, this is the same person, so we're going to use the same wig, just so she's had the same haircut with the same hairpin for the last 70 years.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
I hated that. That sucks. Grow up,
Why does she have to have the same haircut?
Same hairpin, same side.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Do you know what else would have given away it was the same character? The fact that everyone's calling her Briony Tallis. Just saying.
That would give it away.
Yeah, that's the point I knew.
Also, they all look fairly similar.
They
like
all
you
have
can buy
the same painted mole. Like,
Yeah,
it was good. We bought it. We didn't need you to give them the same haircut.
Yeah.
Also, Vanessa Redgrave's wig was so bad that they were framing it out a lot. I noticed. They cropped
I need
it.
to
They
go
often so it was the seam bit. Really good wigs. Shout out to my hair and makeup girlies. Really good wigs are their individual heads are like stitched onto the netting and it builds and it builds. And there is a parting in the wig that looks like a real life parting in your hair. Bad wigs are like synthetic and they're all overlapped. And I'm sure there's a lot more detail here that people going into good wigs and bad wigs, but like the hair overlaps like this.
Yeah.
No one's parting is like that. You can see skin in it. And so that was what her wig was. It was like synthetic, almost overlapped. And I saw it, you see
Because they blew all the money on the Dunkirk sequence. They couldn't afford a good wig.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Imagine now if they're like, that was actually Dame Vanessa's real hair.
Yeah.
But it was so bad. I saw it in the interview for the first bit because she does this.
Yeah.
And I saw it then. And then they made the scene where she then is in her dressing room and she's like looking in the mirror. They cropped it here.
Oh, I need to go back and look at this.
I think they were like, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Let's crop it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a shame.
I stand by, though. I think she did a good performance.
Yeah, she was great. I thought she was really good.
Actually, I mean, I don't think there's really a dud note in the acting in the whole film, is there, really? I mean...
No, and I thought... I really... I'm going to look up her name because I want to do her respect. But whoever played Robbie's mum... Do you
Oh
know what
yes,
I'm talking about?
she was very good.
She's unbelievable. I've seen her in a few things. Brenda Blethyn.
She was great. Shout out Brenda.
So good. She
Yeah.
was so good. And that was another scene that I wept at, was when he's septic. And do when you watch films, like historical films,
Yeah.
do you become like a little bit of a doctor, where you're seeing something happen to a character and you're going, oh, that's sepsis.
No.
We're like, oh, oof, that's a compound fracture. For sure that's going to be infected. Or,
No.
Is that just me?
That's just you. I don't do that.
That was it when he's smoking the cigarette in the field and he's like, oh, does that, and you see a bit of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fucking hell, here we go. Sepsis.
Yeah.
Most of the soldiers, I think, died of secondary injuries and infections and things like that.
It's probably
And
not
there was
surprising,
no
yeah.
hygiene even in the hospitals.
Yeah.
So I could
Do you know, there's a thing. I've got a weird thing about
sepsis.
no. Whenever I see sort of like hospitals from that sort of period or like a little bit earlier, they really creep me out. Is that just me?
I think that might be like a Doctor Who thing.
Maybe. I was actually wondering if it is a Doctor Who thing,
think it's
because
a
there was the
Doctor
whole
Who.
like gas mask.
Are you my mummy?
Yeah. But I don't. There's something really creepy about like. For some reason, I find them quite creepy. Those sort of like old hospitals and those sort of like. And I'm not into like ghosts or anything like that. It just like for some reason it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like creeps me out a little bit. Like there's a shot of Briony where she's just like walking down the hallway and the lights are slowly coming on behind her. And I was just like,
Don't like that.
don't like that.
No, I love it. But I love like museums that are like, oh my God, I do love war.
You do?
Museums that are like Churchill's war rooms,
Yeah, still
that
haven't
you
been.
walk through it and you're like, this is what it was. Like HMS Belfast, when you step on board and you're like, this is what it was like when they were on board. Like,
Yeah, no, those things are
love
cool. I
stuff
like that. Yeah.
So that I really enjoy that element of like hospital museums where you're like, this is seeing a snapshot of history and this is so cool. There's it's called the Hospital in the Rock in Budapest. Everyone should go to this museum.
Really?
Yeah, it was in I think it was in the Second World War. They carved out a hospital in the rock and it was initially supposed to hold 300 wounded and the sister nurses that were caring for them. And they went on to hold about 3,000. And you cannot understand it. When you walk through there and you're going through these tiny little corridors in the rock, you cannot fathom that there were 3,000 injured men in that cave.
There's some good shots actually in the film of like, it's either before or after she has the interaction with the French
Before.
soldier.
It's the first wave arriving from Dunkirk. That's what that is.
And she like walks through, and you just see all the people just like crammed in wherever they can put them, and it's just like, Jesus, like.
Can you imagine the smell?
And also that's done very well when they arrive, and I think her friend like puts her head round the door and goes like, something's happened, and they all run out, and then it's just chaos outside of like, you know, and these boys essentially that just look fucked, you know, and it's just like the horror of it. I think that's something like it's kind of an odd one, because like this film isn't really a film about war in that way, but it captures the horror of war in a way that I think a lot of films struggle to do.
It doesn't pull its punches in terms of like the SFX for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's great. The guy who's like throwing up blood, like, not great, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because there is like a part of me that is a bit, I might feel like I'm learning a lot about myself as we're talking about this. That I like, the kind of, is it Wilfred Owen and with the dying of the light we will remember them. It's that kind of thing where I feel like sometimes with films like this that are, look, they're not documentaries, but there is a part of me that, especially with films that then lean on archival footage at some point, and there was some in this where you just are watching all the smiling faces of the guys
propaganda
waiting to
films
be picked up in Dunkirk. Really, like, I feel strongly that we need to do it justice, and we need to actually show what the horrors of war was, and like, let's not make more glossy Hollywood shit that just like glamorizes war. Like, I think it's important to be like, it's not cool or romantic. Like, it was fucking horrible, and that's what war is. And I think that nowadays we're so saturated with images of war and famine and just horrific scenes on our TV screens and our phones and billboards, and it's just everywhere, that people don't feel it as acutely. They're very detached from it. So I think if you can get your audience sat down for 90 minutes, 120 minutes, get them hooked on a plot or a narrative attached to characters that they, have empathy with, and then show them all of this stuff, it hits a lot harder.
Yeah.
I do think it has like more of an effect, and I think it's like an important reminder that, Dulce et Decorum Est is bullshit kind of thing. Like, there was VE Day this year just gone. There was a woman speaking, I can't remember her last name, her first name was Ruby, and she was this incredible lady who lived through the war, and she's a veteran, really, and they were talking to her about the war, and I think maybe they wanted her to be talking about like, the British
Spirit of the Blitz,
all of this, and she was just like, it's horrific, and this is what, and you have to remember that war is never a good thing, and it's important to like have these celebrations and come together and talk about this stuff, but like, we need to do it so that we don't forget how horrific it is.
Yeah.
And she was really powerful, and a really incredible old lady. So I think that films like this are really good for that. I don't think they should pull their punches.
No. We were talking about Warfare earlier, which you haven't seen. It's the Alex Garland
Not yet, yeah.
directed film, and it's...
Did he do Civil War just before Warfare, or was there a...
So yeah, he did Civil War, and he met the guy that he co-directed Civil War. He met the guy he co-directed Warfare with on Civil War.
What's his name? Is it Jose?
Ray Mendoza. And
oh gosh,
we won't go too into it, but I told you basically, like, Mark Kermode's review of it is like, I just want it to stop. And it's a great film, but it is that thing of like, you just come away with it with no other feeling than like war. It's that war is hell, thing. And I remember when the trailers for Warfare were coming out, and because it does solely focus on this like one platoon of American soldiers, and how people were saying that it's going to be another sort of like pro-American propaganda war film just from seeing the trailers, and it's like, when you watch it, there is no way in which you would come out of that film thinking, sign me up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is just which I think is completely the right thing to like come away from that film with. And I can't remember where I was going with that, but it's that thing of like, we shouldn't pull punches on this stuff. And you know, obviously you make films for different needs, and you make films at different sort of like age appropriate ratings and stuff. They don't always have to be, it doesn't always have to be gore and, you know, like horrific injuries and
12,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
But it was still, it felt like, yeah, all of the stuff from Dunkirk was accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my sister and Robbie were never able to have the time together they both so longed for and deserved, and which ever since I've always felt I prevented.
What would we rate this film out of 5 dirty letters? You going with a 5? You doing it?
What else have I given a 5 to?
Belfast.
Did I?
Yeah. The Matrix. And
Sounds-
A Private War. Because you love war films.
Oh my god, do I love war? I don't. Do I? Do I love war films?
You can give it a 5 if you want to give it a 5. You're allowed to give it a 5.
Yeah. 5 dirty letters.
5 dirty letters.
I think so. Well, because I'm trying to think, like, what really was there about this that I would have improved? I found it the subject matter is very heavy and upsetting, but that doesn't necessarily take away from the score. It just means I probably don't want to watch it again. Like, probably a 5.
I'm going to give it a 4. And a bit like when I watched Emma, I feel like I want to watch it again. Even though I don't really, because it is quite heavy. But, like, I don't think that I was probably in the right headspace to watch this film and, like, fully appreciate it and have, like, the emotional investment that I think this film deserves. So it's, like, a 4 for now. But, like, it could be a 5 just because I can't really find anything to fault it on other than the thing about the letter annoying me. But again, I think that is the thing of, like, it's a film about misunderstandings. That's what happens.
You've never just been running out of the house and you grab the wrong thing. I do that all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think I would if it was like I'd written that letter. Do you know what I mean? It feels like too important of a thing to, like, fuck up on. But
do you know
equally,
what it's akin to? I use words like akin. Do you know what it's akin to? Is when you are WhatsApping someone and you go to, like, or I was talking to someone the other day who did this. You screenshot someone else's message, someone else's chat, and you send it to your friend to be like, this is whatever.
Yeah.
And you send it to the person that you've just screenshot.
Oh, have you done that?
Yeah.
Whoa. How did you get out of that one?
Okay, so fundamentally, I don't think that that's an okay thing to do, and I try not to do that. But in that situation, I was screenshotting it because I genuinely could not understand what this person was saying to me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I screenshot it, went to send it to my friend to be like, what is this? Sent it to them. And then I immediately went, okay. And then I wrote to them, I went, you read back what you just wrote me.
Nice.
And you
get out.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I think it
Good get out.
worked.
That would work because I wouldn't then assume that.
Won't work now.
Yeah.
Should we cut this out? Can we cut it out? No, leave it in. I don't care. I'm transparent. No, cut it out. Cut it out. But anyway, I I give it 5 dirty letters.
5 dirty letters. I give it 4 dirty letters.
9 dirty letters.
9 dirty letters. Well done, Atonement. Right, now is the time in the podcast where we dive into the credits of the film. Elsa has picked 3 crew members for me to pick from, and then from that we will arrive at our next film. Elsa.
Your mood on leaving this recording will
be
hinge
dependent
on this.
Okay,
because
cool.
I know there's one you are not going to want to do.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
ready?
Yeah.
So, first up, we have the sound mixer,
Yes.
Danny Hambrook
Lovely.
or Hanbrook.
Okay.
Nearly said the film. Second one,
Yeah.
the first AC
Yeah.
camera assistant of the underwater unit.
Oh, okay.
What was underwater? The fountain.
The fountain and the bit in the tube.
Yeah, devastating.
Yeah.
Location. Oh, wait, sorry. Dean Moorish. Location manager. Because I don't know if we've had a location manager. Adam Richards.
I don't think we've had a location manager either. So let's go with Adam Richards.
So next week, we will be watching... I don't think James will have ever heard of this film. The Bubble.
I have heard of this.
Have you?
This is the thing with like Keegan-Michael Key and like Karen Gillan. Is Pedro in it? Pedro Pascal?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
I
And
don't
they're like
know.
actors making a movie in
Yes.
COVID or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
they all
have heard
get
of this.
sequestered.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, join us next time when we shall be talking about The Bubble. Thank you very much for watching or listening wherever you do. Share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.